All right, kids, we are live. So it's been a hot minute. I understand. I know. I am Fourzze. Y'all know me as AA Ron in the lightsaber community. You can find my stuff at fourzfx.com. Waiting on some folks to get here. I got the message from some folks. They're on their way. Tonight we've got legendary veteran Saberland font maker Juan Sith going to be joining us. Extended the invite out to the Jakku Junk Trader. He should be joining in. Also, the usual suspects. Suspects. You know who they are. Golly, 45 seconds in, I'm already stumbling over my words. Without any further delay, I would like to bring in one of Saberland's hottest commodities. You guys know him as the legendary Juan Sith.
Namaste.
Namaste. Hey, Juan.
Hey, how are you?
Man, you see it. My house is in complete shambles. Been going nuts. Just crazy. Trying to get everything together. I set my new setup here next to my wife, who has her like whole Baby Yoda setup, and it's crazy, dude. So we redid my son's room, my daughter's room, my room, and now we're redoing the rest of the freaking house. It's insanity.
Hey man, I hear you. Yesterday I just like put curtains in my house. I had to install them and everything.
Yeah. So, and then golly. Husband, fatherhood, on call, full-time job, 2 commissions, and I've still got to put my Kenobi stuff out. So
that's how it is.
I know, dude.
What's her name? Is that a he or a she?
Dog? That's Rosalie. That's my baby girl. She's a sweet dog. She turned 1 yesterday. So hey, coming up on the stream is one of my suspects, the legendary Jeremy Moon.
What's up, guys?
Hey, man.
How are ya?
Doing real well.
Great.
Well, that's good.
No, I'm very tired.
Me too.
Golly. Joining in the comment section. Oh, shoot. It's Jeff.
What's up, Jeff?
Jeff, you are so missed, brother. Oh, my God, dude. If you want to join in tonight, freaking let me know. Seriously. That's awesome. And Will is in the house tonight. Oh, bro.
William.
Love Will. Absolute genius craftsmanship when it comes to his unique sabers. Liam, gonna need you to call your mom.
Hey, Liam.
Hey, Craig, you made it. Good to see you, man. Yeah,
it's
dude.
The return of the suspects.
I know. I know. Oh, man. Let's see.
It's gonna be a good night tonight, I think.
Let's see. All right, got dude, I'm getting hit up like crazy on the messenger. Like, did you start yet? Well, yeah. Yeah, kind of did. Kind of started. Will giving you the shout out, Jeremy.
What's up, Will?
Oh, man. So to everybody in the comments section, you've been missed. You've been missed. Oh my God. So I want to attack the elephant in the room and actually say this screen to screen. Juan, congratulations again on the sickest Kenobi fonts, dude. Those were, I mean, I hate this word, but they're accurate to a fault. They're so well done. And bro, just y'all, if y'all haven't gone over to saberfont.com to check all of us out, y'all need to go over and hit up Juan Sith and get his Kenobi series fonts, no doubt. They will be collector's items to your font collection.
I have never heard somebody basically when they came out. I was driving on the road and I just pulled over, and all of a sudden my phone starts blowing up because Aaron just said, "Oh my gosh, you guys got to listen to this."
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I blew the whole group up, letting them know they need to go listen to these now.
my brother, I appreciate it.
You're most
Yeah,
welcome.
like I told you, it was a labor of obsession, to be honest.
Dude, I remember talking to you. You were so tired. You had no sleep.
I didn't sleep. Like it would like I live in Mexico and in California. What it aired at 12 o'clock, so it was 2 a.m. here, and I didn't sleep until 8 p.m. on the other day because there was like so much to do. Yeah,
Oh, it
but
was
it
so
was
good.
exciting. Like a fun maker who tells you that it's hard work, he's lying because it's just fun. I mean, I had the greatest fun in like since I don't know in 2 years. I loved it because it also like I had to revisit and watch the fight between Obi and Vader like 15 times in a span of like 2 hours, and it's like that's fucking awesome.
No, that was honestly, I love the series. That font was fantastic, and of course, you're getting something, especially when you're coming out. It came out like right at the end of that series, and he's like,
Yeah.
obviously, you've been working on it well before the series had ended.
Since the first episode, which is kind of like the nice thing about them putting these episodes out 1 week at a time. You can source what you need to source, build on it, make your layers, edit what you got to
Exactly.
do, and then on the next week you're ready if anything new is introduced. So
I started working while I was on Celebration because they released the first two episodes, which didn't have a lot, but I mean you had a little bit of the third sister, some quotes,
yeah,
and then on the night when I came back, I was supposed to come back. I think it was June 1st. It was episode 3, which was the first fight between Obi and Vader, and I was
Mhm.
actually at the airport with my computer just on a table working on it, and I was about to release them, but I said no. It's just episode 3. Let's just wait until episode 6 or like the final episode. Something happened. He disappeared. He turned on like he became the force. He's a force ghost now.
And he's back.
Oh, there you go. Like
He's like,
you
what
two
happened? Where'd
vanished.
he
I can't take my medication on camera.
Oh,
go?
I see. It was like he became a force ghost.
I see what you did there.
Anyways, yeah, it was fun. And now I saw a poster for the Alkalite. Very exciting.
I haven't actually watched any of the San Diego Comic-Con stuff yet. I plan on taking a look at a bunch of the stuff later on today.
Brandon let me know because it was released on Twitter, and you know how big a fan I am. But the X-Men 97 picks were revealed.
Oh, they
Oh, really?
finally did it, eh?
And they are staying 100% true to that show. They've got
Because this is a continuation of that show, right?
Sabers.
Yes, it is a continuation, and they are. And what's crazy is that they've got pics of Magneto in his outfit from the 70s.
Oh wow!
When he was leading the team.
Who's gonna be Magneto?
From my understanding, the original voice actors who played Wolverine, Mr. Sinister, Rogue, Magneto, and I think Jubilee are coming back.
Oh, I see. It's animated.
It's the animated Fox 90s
X-Men. It was like a movie. I knew
the best.
It has one of the best theme songs. You know.
Hey, now look. I don't know if you guys caught this, but that theme was used in Doctor Strange.
Yes, it was.
And
Yeah,
it was used in Miss Marvel.
Yep.
I haven't seen Miss Marvel.
You need to watch Miss Marvel. It's incredibly good.
I really enjoyed it too. It was okay. It was definitely a lot more on the kid side for it, but I think because that's where its generation is, right?
The pacing was good, though.
Right? Pacing was really good, actually. Yeah,
and honestly, culturally, it taught me a lot. It was
Me
really
too.
neat it was really neat to learn about a lot of that stuff. So, kudos to those writers. They did a really good job.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm pretty much sold on the fact that the MCU is going to bring to life. It's coming. It's coming.
And what was it? The other part that I really enjoyed was the one I heard someone say they announced a new Daredevil.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's a film with the same.
Oh, with Charlie.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you wouldn't really bring back him, they brought back him and Kingpin into this old with the Disney Plus with Hawkeye and everything. So, I mean, figured it was bound to happen. Everyone else from those series are starting to get it.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Like I didn't like Iron Fist too much, but I loved the rest of them. Like the casting on those characters was spot on as far as I'm concerned on all of them.
I thought Daredevil and Jessica Jones were those to me were the best.
Yeah, they were.
I loved Jessica Jones. That had me on the edge of my seat the whole time. That was so well done. Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Oh, definitely.
So sorry to interrupt you. Can I do one thing?
Yeah.
Can I ask if anyone at the that it's here at the comment section, like whichever font they would like for any of us to do, just ideas. Like I don't know why, just like came the idea to me. Like, can they just comment which fonts they would like us to make?
Yeah, absolutely.
While
all right,
and everything.
Comment section. You just heard from the legend. If you have any ideas for some fonts that you would like one of us to make, throw them out there. I know a few people right now, I believe, have some commissions open. I have a commission that I'm working on at the moment, which, my God, I need to get done. But yeah, that can work. Zero, dude, check him out. Zero's here.
Hey, Zero.
Everyone, I'll be popping in every now and then, but hope y'all have a great. Yep, good to see you, Zero. Yeah, guys, it's been far too freaking long.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what to say. Normally we have like a lineup, and oh man,
do you have a release date on whichever you're trying, like you're working on right now?
So, if you want the truth, I'm doing this on a new computer. This is a new computer right now, and I am. I had to upgrade the sound program that I work with, and in the process of doing so, I lost my plugins.
Oh,
so I got to get my plugins back and get everything rocking so that I can get back to it. So I figure while I'm putting the money aside to get all my plugins back, I am getting my house and my whole Zen zone back.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, new computer, it's a sweet machine. I mean, she's a powerful beast. I just gotta get my software back up and running.
Audacity, tradition. You don't need anything. That's why I don't want to get used to, all these fancy software and crap, because I want to have like the simplest software, like good to go, and I can use it even like, I don't know if there's Audacity for a phone, but if there was Audacity,
you'd be
for
using
a phone,
it.
I would use it. Yeah. It's like that's the only thing that you need.
Seriously. Where the freak is Johannan at? Because he said he was going to be here. It's not the same without my co-host. Freaking killing me. Oh, my buddy Aaron Johannan. Shadow Tech Sabers. Freaking amazing. Musical. He's a damn musical genius is what he is. He lights up our group with all kinds of guitar riffs, and he's actually done a number of outros for my videos.
Wow.
So yeah, I try to get all my friends involved in my font making process, whether it be they play music or they voice act or they do something graphically, or take Jeremy for example. He made me a freaking saber, and I feature it every time I'm on screen. So,
granted, you called that saber before I even had it finished.
No kidding.
Hey, Jedi Knight
Jeff. Oh, see, and here's the real question, Jeff. Why the hell aren't you on the screen? You're supposed to be on the screen. Get on the screen. I know what he's doing. He's being dad right now. I'm pretty sure. Jeff's being dad.
Forgive me if I'm distracted. I'm trying to feed some wires right now.
What are you working on, dude?
Right now, I'm working on a. My buddy is sending his Vader's Vault Wrath to be installed, and I got everything because it's a fully removable chassis made by Sorok Sabers.
Nice.
So I'm currently building the saber itself, like all the internals, and just waiting for his saber to arrive. It should be sometime this week, and then
so you're
got some plungers from him. So I got fully dismantle the original stuff that was in it. It was I think it was rot. It's got a what was it? Crystal Shard version 3 in it.
Whoa.
With an hilt LED. Like, it's an older one, right?
I was gonna say, man, I was gonna ask how old is that hilt?
And so he asked me, hey, do you want to do an upgrade on it? And so yeah, I'm doing a Golden Harvest version 3.
Wow.
In this thing. It's fully removable. I got some plungers for the saber once it shows up. And once I dismantle the whole thing, I'll get that whole. Basically, this will be done and ready to go for when he gets here. So
okay,
so yeah,
that's gonna be a sick upgrade.
So maybe you can answer my one question that I have. I received this TXQ saber. Well, it's this saber. It's an Obi episode 3. The thing is that the core, the USB port for the Profi is the distance from here to the USB port. It's weird. It's like it's not that much. So, and this the board is glued to the core. So, is there a cable or anything in which you can?
I saw someone was showing a cable, and it's basically the USB type of thing, but for those. And where's my Profi that I have around here?
I don't understand. If anyone has this version of the TXQ, can you just explain to me how to access to the SD card and to the USB port, because nothing fits, and I have to just bring the Profi board up, but it's glued, so I'm just
you'd be worried about popping it out. Well, I know there is a cable somewhere that you can actually have it. It's on an angle.
Yeah.
Right. I'll see if I can find a picture of it, and I'll send you a link if I can find it or something like that. If someone in the comments finds one, can send them a link. I know I've seen cables that are angles like that. Yeah, that might fit. Yeah, I've never had a THQ stuff, so I don't know how they build their chassis and everything. So
it's pretty fun. I don't want to damage it. Oh, Link. Oh, wow. Is that X-Men versus Marvel?
Yeah, Marvel versus Capcom.
Oh, Marvel versus Capcom.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
How are y'all?
Fine, and you?
Good.
I spent thousands of dollars in that game.
Yeah,
Me
back in the
too.
day.
yeah. Well, the good news is this is on free play, so yeah.
Just
Oh
sitting
my
there
God.
with constant like
And that's
quarters
Mortal
lined
Kombat,
up.
right?
Oh yeah, and the other
Mortal Kombat
screen,
1.
the other screen there
Yeah.
is Mortal Kombat 2 on the Super
Oh,
Nintendo.
2.
Yeah.
Oh,
One. There's your answer from Craig.
Craig, you need a 90-degree angle cable. Oh, nice. Thank you.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
So I think that's a freaking destroy desk. Even I have one of those.
hmm
Oh, you? Yeah.
Ian, why is Ian not on the screen? Y'all are killing me tonight, guys.
How long have you been on? How long since the show started?
About 21 minutes ish.
Oh, okay, nice.
How'd your stream go?
Actually, yeah, I cut it short, and it the game kept kicking me out. So, and I had started late anyway. This whole week trying to set a schedule for it has been challenging, but that's a whole separate deal.
What game were you playing?
Call of Duty Warzone.
Okay.
On Xbox Series X. It was like I was in the middle of what was off to a good start on a match, and it just like desynced, kicked me out. I was like, whatever.
Oh, I was actually playing Warzone like just before these 2 minutes before you just logged in.
I only recently
I don't
picked
have
it
an
back up.
excuse. They killed me.
I haven't like I bought Cold War, the base game when it came out, and then I haven't played Warzone a whole lot. But Warzone 2 with Modern Warfare 2 is coming out later this year, and I'll probably jump and put a lot of hours into that, most likely. So if anybody's down to play that later on in the year, let me know.
Nice.
But how have you all been?
Will's giving you the shout, Brandon.
What's that, Aaron?
Just look at the screen.
Oh, hi. Oh, yeah. I got to remember I did pull up the chat over here. What's up, Will? Hope you're doing well. And yeah, Juan, how are you, buddy?
Great. How are you?
Yeah, man, just staying busy.
Oh my God, your room.
Yeah, it's
amazed.
I know, like I probably should like change the game or something, because that flashing screen is probably like really,
I'm
like,
having mini seizures as we speak.
Yeah, let me let's hear. I'm gonna mute the mic and I'm gonna change the game. So hold on a second.
Pitfall, or just Snow Bomber or Pac-Man. Hey, William. Hey, my pleasure as well. Just wanted to say I've heard Wanzits for many years. Oh, thank you. And I love his work, and it's so nice to finally put a face with the name. Yeah. Well, I was actually going to just come
There.
show
We'll match it with the other screen. Put MK2 on.
like this.
That's so awesome.
Oh,
what about
dude.
you, Mr. Jeremy? How have you been?
I've been good. Work's been crazy busy, so been trying to get stuff done for Sabers and stuff. But I'm still working on some boxes for the Rebellion Outpost Frozen line.
Oh, cool. Is that finally coming out?
It will be. She's still finishing her off. And then, my
been in
boxes.
development for a while. Good for her.
Yes, she's really happy with how those have turned out. They've been a labor of love, definitely, for her.
Yeah.
So.
No, I'm glad to see that she's able to finally get that out there, man. I do know that sometimes projects can just take forever. And
oh yeah.
But the cool thing I like is like you can tell the difference between a company or manufacturer or person running the show, like it, because there are unfortunately there's some businesses in our hobby that take years and years, but it's just like it's just probably won't ever happen. But
and it seems like excuses happen a lot more.
Yeah, but I know Deanna will get. I know she's been working so hard on that run, and
Oh yeah,
I'm glad to see that it's finally coming out, and that'll be fun for the people on that run.
yeah, definitely. I'm one of them.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Well, I when she announced those sabers, like she was like, I really want to do that. I'm like, you better.
Yeah.
Which
I-
It's
one?
like- so
The
it's a beautiful looking saber. So
I tell you, man, it's so funny because like there's so many hilts and projects that are out in the hobby that I just wish I could get. And it's kind of this weird thing. The whole time I've been in this hobby, like I don't think I've ever at any given time owned more than 2 sabers at a time. Most of the time, for most of the time I've been in the hobby, I've had 0 hilts. It's only in the last few years that I've had at least one on hand all the time. And usually they're a custom, not necessarily a Canon design or something, and it's good that I went for so many years without my own saber, which is crazy to think of nowadays because of making sound fonts. It's like, how did you make sound fonts at all with no saber
With
to
lots
test
of
them?
help.
how do you know it works?
Well, you get, like Aaron said, you get people to test them for you, right? And then finally, like 2019, when I was really starting Repulse up, I was like, man, I and it's crazy, right? It makes a world of difference. So,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's. But again, I like. There's so many sabers. Geez, I can't even name them all. Like there's a whole bunch of Canon stuff. Fourzze showed me his Lop saber from Jawa's Junkyard, which now there's more than one there's 2 or 3 companies that have come out with that design. I know LGT made theirs, which admittedly for LGT that was actually pretty nice looking.
It was actually very nice.
The 2 nicest ones that I think about are the Jawa's Junkyard,
Oh,
which is
wow.
what
want that
Aaron's
one.
got here. And then actually the Pox Stores version is really pretty too.
I haven't seen the Pox Stores version yet.
I mean, think about this one that he's holding up, but like
That's from the
painted in a
Ultimate
couple
Works?
spots. And yeah, like the Pox Store and Jawa's Junkyard probably have the best 2 out there on the market right now.
That is gorgeous looking.
Now it's funny because
I wanted one, but yeah,
I've received some comments. After I got it, a lot of people really dig this hilt. Some people didn't like Visions, therefore they didn't really care. But a couple folks had commented that it looks very plastic, a lot like a toy. But I assure you, so much care went into the design and the coating and the etching. This is 100% metal. This is not plastic by any means. Jawa's Junkyard had these beasts ready to go. It is, I mean, dude, you can bludgeon a person with this. It will hurt. And it's weighty. I didn't think it would be this weighty, but it is. And I think with a blade in it, oh, by the way, 7/8 only.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That would have been a deal breaker for me. I'm glad I didn't buy it.
Dude, this is first of all, Lapinocho was my favorite Visions episode because it reminds me of Tenchi Muyo so much. And when I saw the family heirloom, I had to have it. I
really wanted it, man. But the problem for me, not only so it's not just the hilt, and just personal preference, the way that the Pox Store finished theirs, like the finish on theirs with the paint and the tassel and everything, like to me was a little bit more eye-catching. Though I can't speak at all from quality and comparison. I don't own either of them, so who knows? But the blade for her saber, for Lop saber, it would have to be a unique build blade with the, because it's a shaped like a blade and it's got the writing on it and stuff. So if I were to invest in that hilt, like I would want to commission somebody for a blade like that too, which it could be Ripper or it could be somebody else, or
you can. And
but me personally, if I was going to add to my collection, that's what I would have to do.
And Leon Scoplianos, if you're watching, correct me if I'm wrong. I think they had a deal. The Jawa's Junkyard had a deal with the Saber Trader, Devin, and I think there was a blade that was commissioned to go with this saber.
Yeah.
I just didn't have the green to shell out to get it because, man, custom blades are high dollar.
Yeah.
I remember the first time. Gary Rip quoted me on a Legend of Zelda Master Sword blade, and this was before he went NeoPixel, and it was 350 plus.
It does, man.
But
you know, when
those,
you get custom
those blades, dude, those are quality. They really are.
Yeah, when you get custom, and you know, from a business perspective, if you're like the only dude making them too, you can kind of charge what you want. So it's, I mean, and that's not me hating on anybody, right? Like you know, if nowadays though, there's a few people that'll do custom blades.
Not many, and if there are, I don't know them.
Well, you mentioned the Saber Trader, and then Gary.
Devin and Gary. That's really the only two
I thought there was
aware
at
of.
least one more, but I'd have to look it up. Anyway, I mean, maybe I think so, but anyway, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's not like there's a lot of competition.
Comment section if you know anybody else besides Devin and Gary who does custom blade work. Throw it out there for us so we know.
I think I have one from. What's his name? I know he's part of the Smugglers Outpost group. Oh, geez, name's escaping me.
Not Pete.
Not Pete. Someone else.
There aren't that many powder coaters either. Now that I'm thinking about it, I know of Pete, Red Fox Drummer,
Chris Royal Custom Armory.
Yep,
that's 3.
He's the one that did my Tron prototype.
And did you guys know Larry Randall powder coats too? You've been doing it for years. Yeah, Larry's been doing it forever.
That's cool. Yeah, I didn't know that.
So,
you know, I know there's been people that have like petitioned to create some kind of list of all the people that do all the things in our hobby and all this stuff. I think the problem that they ran into though is that list had too many names that would come and go, you know, and that's just the nature of our hobby, unfortunately, right?
It would fluctuate a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? And
Russell at Wade Sabers. Yeah.
Russell. I completely
of course.
Russell, I'm so sorry. Oh my God. And Russell installed my son's saber. I feel so bad.
Russell's the one that built my prototype light panel back behind me.
Yeah.
And, well, he didn't build the panel. He built the saber that goes with it, and had all the crazy hookups. And it's to this day, I don't know anybody else that has one like it. So I think it's one of a kind.
It's beautiful, dude. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually,
too many names in our hobby just don't have the recognition they deserve. I swear.
I probably could demo it, but I don't. No.
If you want.
I don't. Yeah, I guess I could leave the mic on and see. It is cool. Jeremy, have you ever seen it? You might have seen it in my demo videos. My panel. Yeah. Juan, if you've seen any of my recent demo videos, you saw it.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah. The panels themselves I built from scratch, and they were kind of a real pain to make. But the
you made those?
saber. The saber. Yeah. These are So they're built with just plywood backing, 1x2 framing. There's a clear sheet of or a sheet of trans white acrylic, and it's like they're like 8 foot. They're 6 foot tall, and the acrylic's like a 1/4 inch thick. And then I took this same vinyl wrap that you use for vehicles, car wrap, vinyl wrap, and put it over the acrylic, and then cut out the ovals manually. And then there's a RGB LED strips on the inside with a remote, so I can change them to any color. But the one panel behind me above my head, that's the one that has the secondary set of LED strips connected to that custom saber. So I'll turn like the main lights off, and then when I light the saber, it's just the LEDs for the saber. So
How do you make the cutouts? How do you cut
The cutouts were so I literally like I created this like I just took this cardboard and cut out this oval and kind of sized it to what I thought would be proportion, and I used it to like trace it's all done by hand. If I took pictures up close or you saw it in person and got real close, you could see it was made by hand. It's not perfect. But
the
on
illusion.
camera it looks great.
That's how the Emperor, like this, the carbon freeze chamber probably didn't like tolerate a close up.
Yeah.
Everything probably looked exactly like that. So, but it's the atmosphere and everything. So yeah.
I
Mhm.
appreciate
I think
it, Jeff.
Fourzze
I
would
see Jeff in the
appreciate
chat.
this one.
Oh,
Yep.
okay, a little rustic. I dig it.
Wow.
This
So
one
that's
is
a new one?
a new one I'm doing. Up.
Okay.
This is for my buddy Dave. So it's
Getting
going
a
to
more
be
game accurate button. Nice.
well, this one's also getting a crystal chamber.
There's only one game accurate version of that, and I have it.
So this will be my next one. I've got basically working done 2, Master and Apprentice.
Very nice.
That's
Right now.
Orgus Den.
freaking sick, dude.
This
I
one's
got
a- this
I
one's
like
a
the
flagship.
Orgus hilt, man. The Orgus hilt's pretty cool,
Oh.
and I like the flagship renditions of them.
Me too.
I have
They are-
I have one more Old Republic saber that I'm getting, and I'm gonna wrap it up with that series. I've got I've got my Padawan hilt, I've got my Satil, which Chris is getting back to me with a new Profi, and
Mhm.
then I'm gonna have some way I'm gonna have my Volatile Derelict done, because that saber is the origin of my business name.
Wow.
Like when I before I got into this community, I was playing Galaxy of Heroes religiously. Or not Galaxy of Heroes, the Old Republic. I still play Galaxy of Heroes. I was playing the Old Republic with my buddy Matt, and when I got that Derelict saber, the Volatile Derelict, I ran with that as a skin for a couple of years, and my character Fourzze, that's the only saber he used. That was it, and that's where it all came from. As a matter of fact, when I got into the community, the first question I asked in the forums, being a brand new guy, was like, "Where can I get this saber?" And they're all like, "You can't get it."
That is, it's one you basically have to build yourself, or like get it on that run that
the Vault Dead
Vader's Vault was doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
and that is a costly saber.
yes, it is. Like, honestly, though, I've seen a lot of those sabers, like the one that they put out, and personally, I prefer the one Benji made, but from custom stuff. His looks amazing.
I saw that. I saw that when he was done with it.
Oh, that is a beautiful looking saber. So,
yeah, that thing is crazy. But nah, dude, I would definitely want to get one of those into my collection. I mean, I got my Vision saber. I've got my Return of the Jedi saber. Honestly, guys, all I need is a Kenobi series Obi hilt, a Ben hilt, and a Vader, and I think I don't need anything else. Like,
I have yet to get an Obi-Wan hilt from Episode 4, which is still my favorite saber. I just been awaiting till.
You're not going to go with Romans?
I am. I'm just waiting for a chance to actually have enough money to actually do it.
Fair enough.
So,
I don't know, Juan. If you had to get yourself another like canon saber, or not even a canon saber, like a saber from a character you just love, what are you waiting on?
My Graphics Authentic Episode 4 saber.
A vintage Graflex?
Yeah, but with the Exactra bubble strip and the everything. I want it exactly as is. Even with the the rivets and crap.
Yeah.
I want a totally accurate one. And I have all the parts and everything, but it hasn't been made.
Juan, you would remember this because you were in the Vader's Vault forums back when I started, and so you would remember like the two people who were just absolutely hell-bent on Graflex accuracy was Shamim and Matt Dooley. You remember that?
I don't remember Matt. Maybe I do, but everybody but yeah.
Matt was a Graflex encyclopedia.
Oh,
He
wow.
really was. Like, he would take any picture of somebody's Graflex and he'd be like, that screw's wrong. That's screwed in wrong. That powder coating's wrong. This bubble strip is in backwards. Like, he didn't even have to spend time. He would just look at it. Boom. He could comment on it just that fast.
Wow.
Like, he would just pick Graflexes apart.
And I mean, Shamim is he's not available anymore. But
Nah,
what
he's
about
out.
Matt? Is he still around?
Honestly, I'd have to ask Chris because I haven't been a part of the Graflex group in years. So I don't even know. Jeremy, would you know?
No. As much as people love the Graflex, I'm not the biggest fan of it. I would say if I was actually going with a Graflex, I would probably do the whole all-out thing and have that Martin Bears chassis sort of thing for it. That's what I would want. But I would not. I've definitely been more towards the Obi-Wan Kenobi type hilt.
Yeah, I've got a flex coming. I think in TFA format, but if I wanted ANH, I think I would try to locate a vintage or just get a Graflex shop Graflex.
Yeah.
Yeah,
those are pretty nice.
Jeff wants an OB TPM and an OB ANH to be part of his collection. Dude, that TPM hilt's that's kind of grown on me. I kind of like it. It's a cool hilt, and so many people have done it.
This is from the you cannot see anything, but from the orbital mentioning.
Mm-hmm.
This is OB the Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones, which are pretty much the same. I don't know why
the grip on Attack of the Clones looks a little thinner. It seems that way. Am I wrong?
Yeah. I don't know, like back then you remember like Watto would just orbital mentioning would just release a run and everybody would just go because they're so accurate. And but like I'm not really like an expert with Obi-Wans, so wait, this has like a golden
Check
the Attack of the Clones one has the golden middle section and the Phantom Menace is just
and
it has like this this nice purple thing.
That's pretty
They're
awesome.
nice hilts. I really like the Obi-Wan's TPM versions better.
Ian, what's good, brother?
Just got done in the kitchen for the day.
Yes. So you're never gonna believe this. It's the very first time I've seen it ever since its release. I was in Target today. I was trying to pick up a new shelf, and I'm strolling through electronics, and it was funny because I seen a dude with his girlfriend walk into the electronics aisle. He looks down, he looks at me, and I'm like, "You see it too?" A freaking Xbox Series X was in the case at the Target today. First time I've seen it in forever.
You won't see those PS5s though.
Heck no. Heck
Crazy,
no,
man.
dude.
I'm
But
waiting for the PS5 Pro.
It was so funny because the guy I was looking at the guy. I was like, "You see it?" He's like, "Bro, I see it."
Are they sold out everywhere?
Everywhere. But I mean, Xbox is doing well with keeping up with the demand right now. The fact that I physically saw a Series X today, that gives me some hope. And to be honest, I think I use my Xbox more than my PS5. I shouldn't say that, but I do. That my son kind of hijacked my PS5 to play Strangers of Paradise.
honestly, it was one day I was actually added EB Games, and I'm like, hey, do you it was just one of those days. Hey, I think I was waiting for my kids to have their haircut or something, and just talking to the guy. I'm like, hey, so do you guys actually have any PlayStations? He's like, yeah, we do. I'm like, and payday's like 4 days away. I'm like, yeah. So
Dang, dude.
I was a little disappointed because I'm like, I can't get one. So,
The only thing with GameStop here is like they'll do drops. So they'll have like they'll send emails out to their pro rewards people letting them know like when they're going to do a drop, and they'll have so many per store. They won't tell you how many. And then they only sell them as a bundle with like a game, a controller, or maybe it's 2 games. I don't know, like, but it's always like $700-800. And I'm like, can you just sell me the damn console by itself and let me decide what games I want? Like,
No,
why do
you
I
have-
have to drop $800?
actually,
buy
I've
from
talked
you.
to the guy. That's the thing is they were doing bundles,
Yeah, I'm like,
and their whole
that.
thing on that is they're doing that to discourage people
Scalping.
from just buying
Yeah,
the console
I get it.
and reselling it, right?
But
They want like, oh, well, you're gonna have to get a game with it, whether you like it or not. So these guys are like gonna have to buy a game, which they don't want to do.
Real, and
Yeah.
nobody wants to spend $70 on Madden 22. Sorry.
I think it was like
Better things to spend my money on.
I think it was necessary to do this in the beginning, but they, instead of being proactive and doing it in the beginning, they waited until everything was bought up, and then they started to implement that. And now a year later, what is it? A year and a half
Year
later,
and a half.
they're still doing it. I'm like, guys, like, whatever, man.
Seriously.
Well,
Will,
Guys
what's
are
good?
still buying them up and scalping them here. So
no.
Not much, guys. How are you?
What's up, man?
What's going on, brother?
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, we hear you.
oh yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
good. 'Cause last time I was on here, my mic went crazy. So yeah, everything's
you're-
pretty good. So you guys doing well?
Yeah,
Oh,
dude.
yeah.
Got my vision tilt in. I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah, I saw that. That is gorgeous. Oh my god,
It's probably gonna be
that's
the
one of my
last
favorite
tilt.
episodes of Vision too.
Telling you, man, it's got that Tenchi Muyo feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
For
Yep.
those of us old enough to remember Tenchi.
Yeah.
Actually, I quite liked the twins, even though it was like they're doing this giant deep space lightsaber fight.
Yeah, that was.
I actually still quite like that one.
It was pretty over the top. I was on Kyber Cave last night, and they were. I was showing them on the screen, and they were like, "So, are you gonna get the umbrella saber yet?" I was like, "No, absolutely not."
I've seen some people that have the umbrella saber, and actually, for those guys that were doing it, they're probably just for cosplaying looks, anyways.
Yeah.
It still looks cool, but it's like any of those sabers. It's like, well, that's completely impractical.
I'll tell you what, it's pretty nuts when you get the cosplayers with the sabers because they're not as invested in the hilts as we are. So a lot of them don't really care what font's on it, or some of them don't even have sound. A lot of them carry stunts, and they're just walking around. A lot of them have LGT hilts. Some of them have some Saberforge stuff. They just. I honestly, I think what they care about the most is just making sure that the hilt matches the character.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
they have it on their belt or they have it, in their hands and whatever for pictures, and they're just not as invested. So it's cool though.
Yeah,
It was really something when I was at MegaCon to see the amount of people that had sabers. It was just an overabundance. It was really cool to see though. Ouch.
Ugh. My first time seeing a Vader's Vault Saber was actually at a con. It was a guy dressed up as Revan, and I had never seen a Vader's Vault Saber before. And he's like, "Hey," I'm like, "Oh, can I take a look at that?" And he's like, "Give it to me." Like, it was a lot thinner than I expected.
The small one.
Well, I have one now,
That one, yeah.
right? I was like,
The
"Oh
red
wow!"
and-
Like it's nice, but like it's nice looking saber, but it was like thin and small, and I'm like, wow, I did not expect that. And then I just recently made a Revan saber with a full crystal chamber, and that one I like better. It's bigger and has like this to it, right? So, I mean, I think that the one I got, I that. I think that one was a Texas Custom Sabers one. That was really
Ray
nice.
Fleet. Now that's
Yeah.
a name I've not heard in a long time.
Pretty much, yeah.
Dude, let me ask you guys a question now that Kenobi's done. Are you guys cool with some of the inconsistencies in it? Like just some of the small things? For example, Anakin. Like, did you notice that when the shots of him in the temple, he didn't have the scar? Did you guys notice that he was missing the scar on his eye?
Mhm.
Like, do you think that was like a makeup faux pas on their part over at the studio?
Which one? Where
It
was this?
before Attack of the Clones.
It was before Attack of the Clones.
No. In the temple during Order 66, he's missing his scar.
Oh, I honestly did not notice that.
Neither did I.
I had to watch it a couple
I
of
didn't either.
times. He's missing his scar, and like in all of the scenes, it's missing. So I
Really?
didn't know if there were like small changes being made. Like I'm really curious if certain things in Star Wars as we know it are subtly being changed. Like, I don't know. Brandon, what do you think?
I didn't notice.
No?
No. I don't know. I'm not the guy typically who is lasered in on the real deep cut stuff. Like I would have never noticed that. And even mentioning it, like I'm probably not going to go back to see. I just like, for me, it's about the delivery. Was the writing good? Was the directing good? You know, do the actors play their parts as you would expect, with especially with such a high profile section of the story, you know, with in between, you know, Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. The thing about, I mean, I don't know. I don't have any specific critiques as far as those kinds of things go. The only thing I really think I was looking for out of that show in terms of like, you know, accuracy or continuity, I guess, would have been, you know, what happens between Vader and Obi-Wan, and are they gonna do it in a way that respects leading into Episode 4? And I think they did. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to
mean,
agree.
the show is not perfect. I definitely think it has very weird writing in multiple areas, but as a whole, I don't think the show's great. I think it has some extremely high notes that are what I would call kind of a as best as you can get scenario in the key points that are probably the most important, i.e. Obi-Wan versus Vader.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that Vader's voice was Empire Vader. They made him sound just like James Earl Jones, even though I can't remember what was reported. If James Earl Jones actually recorded dialogue and then they spiced it up, or if it was
He
completely
did,
AI.
apparently.
Really?
No, I heard
it was
there's.
AI.
I've heard both. I've heard both conflicting, so I don't know what the right answer is. Either way, it sounded perfect, and you know, just that was what made the show for me. I mean, that's what it was leading up to. That's what everybody wanted to see, and you know, everything else is extra, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if we can get performances like that one moving forward, I'm totally invested. Vader was so phenomenal in this series, just in every aspect. Like every scene just made me excited to see him. He was
Mhm.
just badass. All of it.
Now,
All of it.
I heard something, and I don't know if it was a rumor, but I heard that they're recreating the scene from Rebels
Yes.
in Ahsoka.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think there's some accuracy to that.
That's pretty cool.
I read
Actually, before I forget, I want to offer this up for the group because I just saw it earlier via Twitter. multiple outlets are reporting, and it's a leak at this point. It's not 100% concrete, but a lot of outlets are reporting right now that Jedi Survivor will come out in March. And let me tell you what, I don't care if it's March or freaking December of 20 million, the year 21 million. I'm going to come back from the grave and play that shit. Like I'm on board for that. Now, for anyone that cares about fonts and stuff, of course I'll make fonts. I'm a font maker, but I am not doing what I did for Jedi Fallen Order with the next game. Good Lord.
All those colors.
No. Like whatever the game gives me, I'll turn into something.
Sure.
But what I did in the last game is when it came out, I played it to completion like 3 times in a row, like back to back. You know, I was just caught up in the hype and the race to get some stuff out. I can tell you right now, the next game I am not doing that. I'm going to take my time. I'll record as I go. I'm going to record the content as I go. But if it takes me a week, a month just to get through the game, so be it, man. I am going to sit back and enjoy that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The fonts, just like with Obi-Wan show right now, they can come out when they come out. I've released 2. I have more than I'm doing, but I'm in no hurry. Like I want them to be quality. I want them to, and same thing for Jedi Survivor. But anyway, Jedi Survivor is rumored to come out in March, and then there's 2 other rumors floating around, and same thing. Now these aren't even being like reported. This is all conjecture, but one rumor was that Christian Bale was going to be Starkiller in a live action show.
God, no.
That's being rumored.
Okay.
It's also being rumored that Disney is hard at work at bringing Starkiller back into canon with Sam Witwer as Starkiller. So
that's what I'm hoping.
To me, that would make the most sense. Look,
fandom will lose their minds.
Dude, I told Fourzze, I said, I will bet any amount of money, my paycheck, whatever you want to call it. There's no way Disney does not use Sam Witwer. Impossible. There's no way they'll do that. Number one, they understand the tidal wave of fury that would come from the fan base if they did not use him.
Mm-hmm.
And number 2,
it'll be sequel level fury.
And it'd be worse than that. And number two, like, you know, Sam Witwer isn't just some random B-lister in the canon of Star Wars. Like this dude is
He already used him, eh?
He literally was Starkiller in the games. Like, and he voiced one of the best characters in all of the freaking lore, Darth Maul. Right, so it's like,
well, not only that, like he's voiced him in a live-action Disney movie.
Yeah, right. Yeah, well, yeah, he did. He actually voiced him.
Yeah.
Yep, he did.
Yeah,
and
he was.
So it's like, there. I'm betting all money, whatever, Imperial credits, Beskar bars, whatever you got on the table, man. Baby Yoda blue cakes, whatever the hell those things were, blue vanilla wafers. I don't know, but like, I'm telling you right now, my prediction is yes, they're gonna do Starkiller, and yes, it's gonna be Sam Witwer. That's my prediction. Oh, that was the last rumor, and then I'll shut up. So I also read again a rumor that in the Jedi Survivor trailer, the person in the back to tank, there's a rumor going around that it is Starkiller. Now that would be sick. I don't know if it's true. Totally rumor. Don't know, but I'm keeping my eyes peeled. So, Fourzze, what did I tell you I would do if Sam Witwer comes live action as Starkiller? What did I tell you I'd do?
Well, your jeans would be soaked. That's for one.
I'm gonna lose it.
I know. And I'll be the first. I'll be the first one you call in the middle of the night.
I'm gonna be like, Fourzze, he did. And then it's the same reaction if we get Cal Kestis live action, which I think is inevitable.
I think that's been set up.
Yeah,
I do. I think
I could see it happening. I mean, it's them using full-on actors and their facial features and everything like that in those games.
The motion capture,
yeah,
things that they've been doing, especially, and you know, not The Last of Us. I want to say it was Uncharted, the Drake stuff that really got the ball rolling on that level of realism. It was ridiculous. What's up, Chris?
Well, that's the thing is they didn't even use full, like, the motion capture was there, and they're showing in those things that they don't need to be exact. Like with they can bring in these brand new people who are brand new actors, and like the realism going over. It's sort of an uncanny valley thing, right? Especially with like these ones that are using people that are actually existing, that are being put into these games. I mean, at least with Uncharted and Last of Us, they are still really good, but they're not the actual actors. I mean, they're the characters in those games are their own people.
Yeah.
Right. They don't look like anyone else right now. So.
Yeah. Kind of a side note about Jedi Survivor. There's, and I haven't seen this anywhere. This is just a prediction, and Fourzze and I were talking about this. I'm betting it's going to be pretty likely that Reva shows up in Jedi Survivor.
Yeah, I could see it.
I really think that's plausible, especially with the name Survivor. You know, Cal's a survivor. Reva, you could say she's. What does the Grand Inquisitor say in his cocky tone? His condescending tone, something that hatred is what's something about gives you the will to live. What does he say?
I don't know. I'm still stuck on the gata.
Yeah. He says that too.
Yeah. The revenge is.
Yeah.
There it is.
The will to live.
Yeah. It does wonders for the will to live, don't you think? That guy, yeah. Dude, he's such an ass. I love him.
Rupert Friend did a good job. I think he did a great job playing the Inquisitor in a live-action version.
Yeah.
I still wish it would have been Jason Isaacs, man.
Well, that's cool. Like,
that was a missed opportunity.
The only thing I've got a lot with those things is, your character is going to look different. Like, don't forget how many people were going after.
Cad Bane.
Cad Bane.
I didn't have a problem with Cad Bane.
I thought he was great.
He looked awesome.
You know what I liked about Cad Bane? I liked how they focused in on the fangs. Like, this dude was 100% fangs. Like, if you remember the end of Return of the King, the freaking dude with all the teeth, I was kind of reminded of that.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, don't get bit by this guy.
I thought the live action Cad Bane was freaking incredible. Now look, so people want to make whatever about Cad Bane versus the Clone Wars animation, all that, and I don't think there's much of an argument there. But for Grand Inquisitor, I think there's absolutely an argument because the Pau'an race, which is what he is, already exists in live action, and their heads are pointed up, you know, like in the cartoon and everything. So the fact that they didn't do it with him, to me, I think there's an argument there. It isn't hurting my feelings. And to the actor, what's his name, Rupert Friend or something?
Yeah.
I actually ended up really liking him. I'm still miffed that they didn't use Jason Isaacs, but I can deal with it. You know, it's just the only reason it's hard for me to swallow is because it's an established character. It's not a new character, right? You know, that one was kind of, but then I guess on the contrary to that, you could say, well, why didn't they use Ashley Eckstein for Ahsoka? Well, you know, it gets a little dicey at that point. So
it kind of makes me wonder if and Chris, maybe you have some thoughts on this because I know you know some people over at Disney, and I'm curious if the production team who works on the animated series, if they meet with the production team, especially the casting group who deals with the live action stuff. Like, obviously, every facet of this company understands that fans want their characters to sound, look, act a certain way. And you know, I think when you put out such a majorly high budget item like Boba, like Kenobi, like Mando, you know, I'm kind of wondering if they're kind of getting away from what we currently know, like the Ashley Ecksteins and the Jason Isaacs, and shooting for something just a little extra. Like maybe they feel that the characters in the animated series aren't real enough for a live action series. I don't know, Chris, your thoughts?
No, I would gather to say that they would utilize everything that's at their disposal, whether it's the Dave Filoni's brain and, you know, cracking his skull open and actually going through it, and all of that's going to be done in the drawing board stages when they're going over how, you know, what the sets are going to be and what everything is going to be. All those original actors and actresses and voice actors are going to be there giving their 2 cents on their characters, because they're going to be drawing the stories for the actual live action, which was miserable for the poor actress that played Reva. I mean, everybody hates her. She was playing it exactly the way she was directed to. I mean, you can't beat on a person for doing what they're told. And, of course, we find out at the end the reason why she was doing what she was doing. You have to always put that into play. I would love to see in the Ahsoka series that they bring a young Ashley in. I think they have plans for that, right? And at least utilize her in some sort of way or role. Is she an actress like in the caliber of Rosario Dawson? I don't know. You know, she's a voice actress. She's done a lot of live action. You know, I mean, I know a lot of voice actors, they act the part out, and that's kind of how they do some of the animations. But has she done enough to carry a role like Ahsoka? You know, I mean, in the beginning, remember when Phantom Menace first came out, everybody was like, oh my God, who's this Ewan McGregor guy playing Obi-Wan? You know, everybody hated the two of them, and they couldn't stand the young Anakin. And
Jake Lloyd.
Yeah. You know, and after so many years, we've grown to love them. I have a feeling this is going to be the same type of scenario. You know, of course, they're going to utilize every terminology that they can possibly get at. But they keep everything canon in the Kenobi series. My biggest thing that I said before is Anakin was kind of missing the scar over his eye. When he was slaying the younglings, he didn't have the scar.
But here's like what you said. It's like you saw that, Fourzze saw that, I didn't see that, right? If I had gone back and rewatched it, probably now I'm going to be looking for it, right? Yeah. But the thing is, you also got to remember you got to look at it between 2 points of view, right? You got the diehard fans like us that are going to watch it and pick every little detail. Then you've got the people who are casual, who still big fans, but probably wouldn't pick up on everything. And then you got the new people that haven't, right? So they've got to there's that balance between it all. Now, the scar thing, I totally get. Like, that is something that should sort of be.
But Jeremy, check this out. What if this whole story is not in the canon timeline? What if this story of Kenobi is an offshoot? What if it? Because remember what they were saying about Luke. They said this a couple times. Filoni has dove into this. How do we know this is the same timeline?
Filoni said that?
Filoni said that twice in interviews.
Huh. What you're also saying is whatever Ezra did in Rebels fucked with the timeline.
I'm telling
and now
you,
everything's kind of.
You could see Star Wars going that direction eventually.
And you know, I talked with Brandon about this the other day. I asked him, I was like, you know, the stuff with the world between worlds, the stuff in Rebels. Remember that conversation I asked you? Is that canon?
It is.
And
currently, it is.
If it is, then the world between worlds and changing the timeline is indeed.
They're gonna mess with that.
Don't forget. When that before the world between world happened, we all assumed Ahsoka died,
Mm-hmm. We did.
right? So now Ahsoka has been in the world between worlds. She gets pulled out of that timeline.
Which I think
Right.
was it a 1 or 2 year jump that they made?
There's a 2-year jump.
2-year jump.
Right. So
But
she
the thing is-
basically skipped 2 years.
But don't forget, they ran off in different directions.
Yeah.
So Ezra came out where he was supposed to, back where he originally came out. Where did Ahsoka go?
Right?
Mhm.
How far did she jump? Because don't forget that world between worlds. It's a 2-year jump, or it jumps to the past, jumps to the future.
Yeah, I get
All
what you're
those
saying. They
portals
they
were
left into
complete.
2 different portals. So where
Yeah.
did she pop out? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't
See,
tell you.
it's nuts because
Mustafar.
if excuse me, if Filoni and Favreau, because these guys are masters at Easter eggs, they really are, especially at paying homage to stuff that we would notice in the original trilogy. If they're going off the time ripple effect, and again, guys, this is me just shooting, okay? If they're going off the ripple effect, then it would make sense to assume that small things like Anakin's missing scar, Reva chasing Luke and Luke being in danger, or even the entire freaking adventure of little Leia and Kenobi could be a result of that ripple, which will eventually correct itself in the course of time, because there are still very, very minor things that are differences between the original trilogy and what we currently have. And these are, again, Brandon called me on it. These are nitpicks. These are nitpicks, okay?
Original trilogy. Leia telling Luke, "You have a power that I would never understand."
Thank you.
Meanwhile,
never have.
she gets completely saved by the Force and has an entire Force conversation with Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Correct. Not to mention, and again, I'm so happy that Kenobi filled in the gap of who is Ben, how did Ben come to be. I'm glad that's done, but there's still something in the original trilogy that's missing, and that is when Luke says, "Do you remember your mother, your real mother?" Just a little bit. No, you don't.
I knew she was sad. But, the one thing that kind of irked me about the whole Kenobi series, and there was only one line that really bothered me.
What's that?
It was a missed opportunity by Kenobi. And it's when Owen says to him, like you trained Anakin. And I said this to you 100 times. I said I would have lashed back and like you protected his grandmother.
I remember that.
Like she's out picking mushrooms on the moisture field, and the Tusken Raiders came and took her, and you had no idea that happened. And where were you to save her?
The droids weren't even sounding off. Nothing.
Right. If you would have did that and saved the mother, the son wouldn't have turned into Vader, and all of this could have been avoided.
It's 3PO's fault. He wasn't quick enough to the alert. Oh, Master Owen, it didn't work. She's been kidnapped. Do something.
He's like carrying his leg. Oh my God! He didn't even have his skin on him. Look at what they've done to me.
Anyway, guys, I gotta take off.
Sorry, I gotta
take off, guys. So I will talk to you guys later. Enjoy the rest of the stream, guys.
Be good,
Okay,
dude.
brother.
Thanks for coming in.
Bye.
Laters. Let's see.
I must go. I'm gonna have to go myself here in a few minutes.
You're good, man. Everything you're doing all right, Will?
I would lie if I said yes.
Well, do me a favor.
Things have been.
Give me a shout on Monday when I'm at work, so we can talk about it.
Well, the only thing I wanted to say that deals with this is the way things have been going with what I've been doing. I'm done. I'm just at the end of this year. I'm probably leaving the Saber community.
No,
because I'm not making enough. And the last 3 designs I came out with, I got criticized heavily for them. So I just said, what's the point? And I've got maybe 4 commissions over the last 6 months. So I think I'm going to go back to working for movie companies and doing special effects for them if I can get up to the ones down here in Wilmington. But I don't know. It's been very disheartening trying to compete with a lot of these bigger companies, and then I make friends with people, and all I get is chastised for being friends with certain people. So just the politics in this whatever bitch fest these people have. It's just I'm getting pulled in the middle of it many times, and I'm tired of it.
No, I feel you, dude. There's definitely been a dry spell and a slowdown in certain spots in the community. Those come and go. I mean, with the end of the series now, we just got done talking about, and it's a little dry right now. So, and not to mention the fact that if you're on the forums regularly, you kind of notice everybody's back to selling their sabers again. Like you can't go into any group, and dude, you're just gonna find hand-me-down hilts just everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but I do want to
runs are tough.
Yeah, I do want to do your Sword of Light because I'm going to see what's going to happen from now to December, and then I'll make my decision. But if things are going the way they're going, I'm just going to have to back out because I got to make money. I mean, that's one of the reasons I started my company, is to make money and to put out some good stuff. Well, at least I think it's good.
No, dude, look, life comes first. That's why I haven't put a font out in a little while, because freaking life. You're looking straight at it. It's a mess.
Yeah.
So
exactly. But I'm not coming on here to whine. I don't want to come on here and whine. I'm hitting a bad patch, and then my daughter, I spent the last probably 14 hours in the hospitals. My daughter had a massive seizure last night, and I almost lost her. And, so
that's important.
Life first, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, you and I have talked about that 1,000 times. Life comes first, and deal with that.
All I would want from the community right now, the only thing I'd want from the community, depending on whatever your religious preference, I just need some prayers. That's all I need.
Done, dude.
Need some prayers.
Absolutely.
Crazy.
Yeah.
All right, man. Call me Monday, please.
But anyway, on a better note, I never noticed that Anakin didn't have the scar. I wasn't even looking at that. I was wanting to see how. Yeah, I've noticed. I've had several people tell me I can't get a hold of you, and I'm not exactly sure why. Well, one thing, it's been storming like crazy. We've had 17. Really? I'm not even joking. We've had 17 lightning storms in the last week over here on the coast of North Carolina. I don't know what's going on, but we've had 7 blackouts. The entire 4 districts around here, complete blackouts. Yeah, it's been nuts. Yeah. So I don't know what's going on. So there's times I can get signal. Sometimes I cannot get a signal at all. I have to go outside, reset my phone, and then everything works. So, but I will on Monday. I will call you and we'll talk a little bit and
absolutely.
And everything. But for me, Kenobi, I loved a lot about it, and a lot of it I didn't. There's certain things I didn't care for, but that scene where he slashed his mask open, I was just like, oh, it's like went right back to Ahsoka cutting his mask open in Rebels, See, I thought that was amazing.
That was a good deal.
The rock throwing. You want to throw rocks? Here, check this out.
Yeah, she got him on the left, and Obi-Wan got him on the right.
That's right.
Yeah.
Y'all give me just 1 second. I'll be right back. Will, I will talk to you on Monday. Guys, I'll be right back. Brandon, take the lead for a few minutes. I got
to go anyway. Whilst you get ready to come out the door.
Gotcha.
All right, I'll see you guys later.
Dude. Be good,
buddy.
All right, bye.
Yeah.
I'll be right back, you guys.
Well, giving me the reins, maybe not the best idea. No. Oh, Chris, what you got there, bud?
This is something I want to talk about. How did you know that, Brandon? You just like read my mind. Look at that.
What?
This is a high ground. You know what? Let me see if I can switch cameras.
Remind me again who makes those?
These are from SP Sabers. Not really the greatest of setups, but here, let's go. See if I can switch cameras. Let's go to this one. Is it in? There we go. Okay. So I can do this. Sorry if my gut's hanging out. So anyway, so it's an SP Sabers high ground, and what we did with this was we updated the neck, which is a steel neck, goes all the way through, to fit our emitter. So this is our new Mach 3 with a 7/8 blade adapter, and then this has that, and I think so. What we did on this also, I just feel like playing.
Bring it down some.
How about right
There you
there?
go.
I'm looking at my screen and going through here.
Yeah.
So it's got the twist off. What do you call it on? So we've got the twin speakers right here. We did a modification here for the sound venting because I really don't like a gap in the pommel.
Nice.
And
man.
then so that's what I've been playing with. We did a bunch of these, and then also on the back of this, it has Cameron came up with a pretty cool chassis setup for it, and it's removable with a removable battery, which is kind of neat.
That's cool.
So that's
Yeah, one day I can add an Obi to my collection, but that would require me to start a collection one day.
you've got enough on your plate. You need to start selling some stuff.
Yeah, that's in progress. So
I know.
yeah, that's gonna be fun. The I will say, actually, hold on a second, because I did get a new saber recently. I
What did
told
you
you I
buy?
only ever have two at a time. So I have my prototype for the wall panel, and then I got this other one. Let me go grab it real quick.
As I'm switching back cameras.
So this is a saber that I worked out a deal with from a guy named Jeremy Kitts. He's the saber merchant on Etsy, and it has this unique feature.
He's alive, Obi-Wan.
Nice.
So the choke is NeoPixel and lights up.
That's pretty cool.
This is my new Riva font.
I wanted to say, and I'm not positive because when I loaded the Kenobis, I bought a bunch of fonts from you and Preston, and I wanted to say that might have been your Kenobi on there. It might have been your Vader
For what?
on mine when I did my Kenobi.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, so before recently, I had 3 Kenobi fonts as part of my cinematic collection. I had the Learner, the Mentor, and the General. And then just the other day, I released 2 fonts for the Kenobi series, one for Obi-Wan and one for Riva. And that's called the Protector and the Third Hunter. I've got more fonts for that show coming out soon. I'm just working on them still, but yeah, this I got as a I worked a deal with him. He wanted a couple of exclusive fonts, and I said, I really want that saber because it's unique. Nobody else sells anything like that currently. And so we worked out a deal, and I love this thing, man. It's awesome, and it's got a golden harvest in it. So, yeah, really cool stuff.
I like the sound of the Golden Harvest. I like the features of the Golden Harvest. Unfortunately, with all the crystal chambers and all the accent LEDs and all the accent pixels, I can't use them.
Yeah.
I have to go with Profi. And like right now, I'm working on. This is kind of neat, but this is the Watto's Junkyard. It's the Watto's Junkyard Vader, which is it's not a bad hilt, but so I'm going with a pixel strip on the back of a very large crystal. And out of all the pieces of crystal that I found, I had 3 of them that were, longer than 4 inches. When I started to shape them, I exploded all 3 of them.
Oh.
So I had to make this into a 2-piece. So there's actually a fold in the strip here.
Okay.
And we did a bunch of accent pieces on the bottom to get into it. So you really don't see it, because it's hidden behind this. It's kind of a half chassis type deal that Goth came up with. But yeah, this was a long, and I'm hoping when I do this, I'm going to do a blade configuration where when it pulsates, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's almost like a Tron effect, where it goes up, it comes down, up, and then comes. And I hope that's the way it turns out, because I think that would be really cool to have it kind of become red all the way up, and then at the top have it flash red, and then pull back down.
Yeah,
I've done, I don't know how many. I'm also working on a bunch of MOMs with their crystal chamber, and now I know a lot of people like this saber, and I've said this before. I'm not a fan of the character. I'm not a fan of the writing, and I'm really not a fan of this saber. I really like the saber, but I'm not a fan of it.
Is that the KR one?
This is the KR one with the rotating.
That's freaking awesome, man. I like the saber. I have my problems with the character, but I want them to do something new with her and with that saber, but who knows if they ever will.
I don't. The thing that there's a lot that bother. I'm not going to get into it, but what I like about the saber is the technicality of it. I love the fact that this kind of looks mallish. I love the fact that it kind of has like some homage to different characters. I really like the technicality of this. I mean, is it, it's cool. I don't know if it's, great or accurate, but I really dig it. I think it's cool to have an opening flange at the top of it.
It's extremely accurate, by the way. Like,
yeah. Oh no, this one is absolutely great. And
that's probably the most screen accurate one in existence, next to the real thing.
Yep, I agree with you.
Yeah.
And so this is getting a master chassis with the rotating plasma gate.
Yeah.
So Eric Lewis, if you're watching me, hey, hi buddy. I'm working on it, but it's still in empty form. I watched the video for Goth about 8 times on how to assemble it. I'm on like step 3.
Yeah.
it's like no joke. There's like a mazillion pieces, and it doesn't look like when it all gets together. And I put it together about twice already, so I've dry fit everything. But man, when you get it together, you're like, I can't believe I just put this thing together. Mm-hmm. Like and I want to do a regular crystal for it. I don't want to use the resin stuff that he sent with it, but we'll see. I'll shape something that looks right, and then I'll be happy with it, because I just don't like plastic.
Yeah.
If I'm going to spend all that time putting something like that together, I think it deserves a real crystal.
Yeah, like if I were to spend money on a hilt like that, I feel the same way. Like depending on the hilt, depending on the like accuracy of it, or let's just say the quality or price. Like if I like let's just say for example, I'm gonna buy like a $3,500 saber, right? And if I'm gonna dedicate an amount to something like that, then yeah, like it's getting the full treatment for sure.
You have to.
But
I mean,
if
it looks better.
well, right. Again, it's like it depends on the piece and like what your idea for it is. You know, like a piece like that, that's like super high accuracy, super quality parts, like, you know, and that makes sense to have the chassis that Goth created to go with it, you know, all metal, full, you know, real crystal, like the tippity top, you know.
He went 24 karat over brass on every piece.
Oh wow.
So
Yeah.
it's not like it isn't even like the middle grade or the upper middle
Right.
grade. It's like the tippity top. Like every piece is like.
And for that
a piece of
saber,
jewelry.
if I had the disposable income, like that's exactly what I would do for that saber, because that to me is on par with like, you know, a screen accurate Graflex. And I mean like original parts screen accurate, like what Wanseth was talking about. Like to me, I don't necessarily, I wouldn't care what the price was to get something like that, or an all original parts accurate Obi-Wan a new hope, right? With the like there's only like a few in the hobby that I know about that where somebody got the original pieces. I mean, it's like a $20,000 hilt because that's how much those parts costed them to source to build that hilt the way it was made for the movie originally. So like when it comes to stuff like that, like yeah, money to me is assuming I have it, not the barrier to get it. It's like no, it's like people that are like a wristwatch collectors, like they call them timepieces, right? Like it's not a watch, it's a timepiece. And you know, if you ever talk to one of these guys, they'll tell you, and you better get it right. You show respect because and you know, some people out there be like, "Oh, that's crazy. I'd never spend 20 grand on." Yeah, but if you had 20 grand, you would find something you'd spend it on. So don't give me that.
I have something. It's got 18 wheels. I spent 20 grand just the other week. It's like
yeah.
If I have it, it's probably going to be, you know, it's like a boat. You know, if anybody that owns a boat, it's just a hole in the water that you throw money into. It's you know, the reason why we don't have disposable income is because we work for a living.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like when I start selling sabers, you know, with the Tron run and everything, I'm like, you know, if that kind of takes off and I have extra money to like start a collection, sure, there's tons of hilts I would love to collect, but and I can say that not all of them would I spend thousands on. Like I don't even know if I would spend thousands on any hilt. Like there's only one hilt I really want that I'd be okay with spending like, you know, $1,500, $2,000, depending on how I could get it and what the level of accuracy was. But if I could get an Empire Graflex that was screen accurate, it doesn't have to be original parts. I'm not that picky. But well, that's fine. And I'm not hating on people that are like that, right? I'm a little more cheap. As long as it's screen accurate, not prop accurate. Like to me, prop accurate is like what Wansa's going for, like all original parts. Like mad respect to that, right? But for me, I'm like, for me, as long as it looks like the real thing, and I don't mean like a plastic knockoff. I'm talking like still has a bubble strip, still has whatever it has, or
Graflex shop essentially.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like a true replica, not an original. I'm okay with that level, right? Like I'll spend 1,200, 1,500, whatever it is on a replica that's screen accurate, but like the full blown movie accurate. I mean, even if I was rich, like I just don't value it that way, but that's just me, right? Like that, because to me, it's going to sit on a shelf and I'm never going to mess with it except to dust it off or something, right? And whereas if I have a saber that I'm actually using, like I want something different for that, right? So, but everybody's different, and I totally respect that. So, that's probably why I don't have a lightsaber collection. Like I have a bunch of like on this shelf behind the camera. I have a handful of assorted Star Wars pop figures. I by no means have the full collection. I don't. Jesus, that would be a lot of money if you did. But I've got a few. I've got some random ones and stuff. You know, I've got some Star Wars. Hell, these light panels are the most Star Wars shit I have. Like that's besides the lightsaber, like the panels are the most Star Wars thing I have. So
I'll be nerdy for a half a second and beyond. So I was going through my stuff because I'm a little bit older than you guys, and I kind of started collecting a long time ago. So in the process of going through my collection, I found this.
Whoa.
So, do you know what that is?
well, is it? Oh, it's a Kenner, so that's original.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think Ian knows.
So when you ordered figures, or when you got figures, and when you got stuff in the mail, they gave you a book.
Yeah.
And
Show you what all you can collect.
Yeah,
I had the Millennium Falcon. Those were supposed to go in years ago.
but look, if you look, it's all drawings. It's not actual pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Because Return of the Jedi wasn't out yet. It was just hitting the movie theaters when I got this. And I'll show you what I got it in. This is because I have a shelf above my head. This was a mail-in.
What?
Is that Obi-Wan?
No, this is the Ghost of Anakin.
Yes, it is.
Oh, is it? Okay. Oh, yeah. Wow.
So I got this, and what happened was, I'm looking through my stuff and I find this white box, and I'm like, what did I get in that? Like, I remember I got stuff, and I'm like, there's got to be something in there, right? And I open up the box and I pull this out, and I'm going through it, going, wow, like they didn't even have the toys built. They just had hand-drawn pictures. Like, look,
Okay.
the shuttle Tiberian.
What is your cargo and destination?
Yeah, like it wasn't even a toy yet. It's just, we're gonna make it eventually.
Wow.
So I was blown away by that. I was like, wow, actually, I mean, it's in really good condition for how old it is. Probably because it was sitting in the white box along with him.
That's sick. Did we just lose Juan again? Juan, where are you? There you are.
Here I am. Here.
All right, so I don't want to wrap up too soon, but I do have to wrap up relatively soon. But there was a couple of really important questions I wanted to ask. So this goes out to Juan and to Link. Brandon. All right. Okay, you're both here. Good. So I want to ask both of you, because the work is done. The work is incredible. I want you guys to tell us what it was like building your Riva fonts. Like, give us some of the trouble, give us some of the difficulty. Like, what was
Him first.
Shoot. Juan, what was some of the challenges you ran into building the Riva font?
I'll be as simple as I can. I had to redo the font video 2 hours after, and I have to delete the first one because someone, I'm not going to say who, sent me, I already released it, send me the true original accurate hum for it. I spent a month trying to look for it and I couldn't get it.
Wait,
like,
what?
there's not the hum for Riva.
You spent a month?
A month. Like, it's not Maul, it's not Darth Maul. It's different. It's like a purr. It has a special purr, and I spent like Obi and Vader, like they were relatively easy, but that Riva hum was driving me nuts. So that last day, I tried to isolate it and everything, and I just couldn't. Like, I got a pretty decent one, but I wasn't extremely satisfied. So I released it. I released the font, and then no, it was 45 minutes. A guy just came and said, "Do you want the accurate Riva font, Riva hum?" And I'm like, "Yes." Like, he showed me like a sample of the audio, and I'm like, "Where did you get that?" And he didn't, like, he said, "I'm not going to tell you, but here it is." So I had to re-release it, and I had to make the video again.
Huh.
Because it was the hardest sound from the Kenobi series. I looked through all the Maul versions. It's not Darth Maul. It's a different thing, and I knew it, and I just couldn't get it until that day that I released it. So yeah, that was the hardest thing. Other than what you said, Force, it was just going episode through episode, just
Yeah.
doing the work, so that I knew I was going to release them on the day. So it was going to be an all nighter. Hey, Jedi Knight Jeff, how are you? But
Okay.
yeah, to me it was the Riva hum. It was all about that. What about you, Link?
So I'm happy for you that you have kind of a someone to show up and gift you such things, because I sure as hell never have that. I agree, it's not Maul. I don't think it's derived from Maul, in my opinion. If it was, they got it so unique that I can't tell. I don't think it's Maul at any cost.
I
For
thought
me,
Grand Quiz was.
in the show, they used a lot of Maul for Grand
Yeah.
Inquisitor,
Right.
especially on the swings. I was hoping they would use Rebels Grand Inquisitor sounds, but they didn't. It pissed me off. But Riva, I agree. The hum was probably the trickiest. You know, I had about 13 seconds of what I thought was an amazing hum from the show, pieced together from parts here and there. I listened. I went to test it out on the Saber, and I picked up a couple artifacts, and then I went in and put my headphones in and really just dialed things in to listen. And I found a lot of problems, and then I was able to clean it up. So the hum that I have, I feel is, I mean, I don't, I
No, when you turned on your saber, it was like pretty dead accurate. I was like,
this
wow.
well, and the
get it.
microphone. This is a really good microphone, but it still isn't as good as like if you heard it with your own headphones, right?
No.
But like now that you said what you said about someone that gave you the actual hum, like I have so many questions, but it's not my business. But like like I would be curious to compare what I made and sourced versus what that person set you up with. I would be curious to see like the differences.
Yeah,
But either way, hey, even if no one ever handed me anything, the hum that I came up with, in my opinion, is as good as it gets. Like I'm happy with it. Um, that was, I think, the most challenging thing for the Riva character for a font. Smooth swings. I had like 2 or 3 different sets of smooth swings I went through before I landed on the ones that I chose, and they're different. They're unique. The fun thing is that there's nothing that she ever. Smooth swings are interesting, right? With sound fonts, there's not much in canon that demonstrates smooth swing at all.
Mhm.
The
There's
sequel
heavy.
trilogy. The sequel
there's-
trilogy really got into that because that's when they started moving slow and maybe
Right,
Kylo Ren
right.
was
Sure,
kind of
But like,
doing
but
that.
most of the time, generally speaking, they don't do it. And Kenobi is another example. So if Riva had a canon smooth swing sound, it was not on display. So if anyone has opinions about it, well, I mean, hey, get creative and then swap them out with something else if you don't like them, I guess. I'm happy with it though. I'm really happy. I think I nailed the hum very, very well. There is one Kylo accent swing in my font for her, and that's because when she raised her saber right before going to kill young Luke, that's the sound it made, was a Kylo swing.
Yeah.
And so this show borrowed from other material very heavily. I think they only got unique where they felt like they needed to, which was Reva, because she's a new character. They wanted to put a lot of time into her, so they made her shit sound unique. That's fine. I'm always happy to, as a font maker, to get new stuff. So yay for that. Just I wish they would do more of it. And with established characters like Grand Inquisitor, he already had an actor. He already had sound effects for his saber. Like, and it pisses me off because it's so inconsistent. Because with Ahsoka in Rebels, her sabers sound just like they do in Rebels. It's the
Yeah.
same sound set. Like they kept all that to the minutia, but for Grand Inquisitor,
And
he's
the
just
dark
in
saber
the
too.
gutter. Doesn't matter, you know. He's just
Sabers
like
from the gutter.
like I like what Rupert Friend did, but like anyway, I'm getting off topic. So the Riva font by itself, so I sourced audio and I'm doing more than the 2 fonts that I released already. I'm doing more for the series. And one thing I did like is there was a lot of blaster sounds in this show.
Yeah.
And a lot of them were some I've never heard before. So I sourced as much of that as I could. With Kenobi, with my Kenobi font, you know, this show borrowed very heavily from episode 4 sound set for his saber, which I like. That's original stuff. But I feel like with this Kenobi font, it gave it enough of an identity with the swings, with the force moves, with the dialogue, with the blaster sounds, and with the confrontations, you know, with Vader, that I felt like I was able to get a really solid, you know, even though a lot of sounds are recycled, just it's like with any font making, it's like how you, the font maker, presents the material,
You
right?
deliver it.
Like how you deliver it. So I felt like I was able to make something out of it. It's not like the most exciting, you know, whereas Riva has brand new sounds. So that's exciting, right?
You,
But no, I'm happy with it, man. I think it sounds great.
I wanted to say something that you mentioned, which pretty much narrows down these kind of fonts in terms of if you want to strive for accuracy, you have to get into the idea that the sound designers, or at least how I see it, are just people are that they have like access to a catalog, and they just scroll down and they say, "Oh, this power on sounds nice," and then Obi-Wan turns on his lightsaber for the first time in the TV series, and it's Vader's power on.
Yeah.
And
I
I'm like,
caught that.
what? So yeah, like most of it,
They're
for
pulling from
people
the
that
archives.
doesn't know like how sometimes filmmakers work, is just trying to figure out like there's catalogs, there's canon sounds which they will always use unless like it's Riva. So sometimes it's just okay. I want to strive for accuracy, so you gotta put the Vader power on Obi-Wan's. It was like I didn't like it. I said I thought it was like weird. It was just a person who didn't. I don't know if they study or they
Yeah,
like
there's
ask,
inconsistencies there. There's one
they
thing
ask
they did do.
people to just go watch the like to the sound designers. Just go watch A New Hope for what it has been done to this lightsaber, because I didn't understand.
You
But
know,
I mean, it's the font, so you put it there.
the
And it's
interesting
cool.
thing to me
Sure.
is it's what you said, but it feels like someone on that sound design team had a brain, because the swings when he's moving back and
Yeah,
forth,
it's A New
like
Hope.
that's A New Hope. Like
Yeah,
that was accurate, but
yeah.
then they mix up the power on or whatever else, right? Like you and I would pick out stuff like that, inconsistencies, and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, sometimes they nail it, sometimes it's like, what were you thinking? You weren't. It's like,
I'm reminded of The Last Jedi, like at the training scene. You know, when that the power on nobody has ever heard before in any Star Wars ever, and then you hear that one, the I'm like, what the
Mhm.
freak was that? Like, there was an internal cringe that happened. Like they didn't even layer it with something existing, and they just kind of ran with that.
you know, I don't know. Like I'm okay. Okay, so I'll draw a line in the sand somewhere. I'll say if they're adding a new sound,
It's cool.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
But if it's another character's sound, right? Like
Yeah.
Obi-Wan fires up a saber and it's blatantly Darth Vader's power on, like
Yeah.
that's no, I don't care about that. But if you gave him a new sound,
Yeah.
oh, all right, cool. I'm cool with that, right? You can add, just don't take away or change, right?
That was the beauty of Fallen Order. Fallen Order was ripe.
It did
with-
its own thing.
It did, and it worked, and
yeah, and it was a new character,
magnificent.
so they could.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's fair. Like if it's a new character, fair game, and that's what's great with the Riva stuff. Like I do appreciate that. Okay, you gave us this new character. Like at first, I was a little miffed that they put so much into a non Obi-Wan centric character in the Obi-Wan show, but obviously they have bigger plans for the character. And at the end, I ended up appreciating her character. I think I was telling Fourzze, in 6 episodes, you only have 6 episodes to introduce this whole character. You don't get excited about Riva until episode 3, and it's like you took way too long in a very short amount of time to tell me why I should care about this character. In the end, I ended up caring about her, but like you should have got there faster. But yeah, for a new character, yes, new sounds all day long. I think that's the right way to go. The real trick is going to be with Jedi Survivor is, are they going to recycle Cal's lightsaber sounds? Because in the trailer, he still has that same saber, right? Are they going to use the same sounds, or are they going to give us some new stuff? Like, I'm really curious to see what they're going to do, you know? Because we got not just a new saber sound, we got 8 colors worth of new sounds. And that blew me away, man. That was like when the Old Republic dropped, and you just had this whole library of new everything. I'm like, that was the biggest like sound drop in 10 years, like, or more. And it's been plus 10 years.
Very few of us utilize that stuff. Very few.
Oh, well, it got used. Yeah, it is still being used. And it's just like the prequel stuff. It'll always be used, right? People can still get creative with it somehow.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know.
Absolutely. Jeff, Aaron, what's up?
What's up, fellas?
Hey.
Not much.
What's up?
Same old.
All the way at the end of the show.
Yeah.
Better late than never.
Truth.
Best for
It
last,
wasn't
homie.
me that got here at the last like I normally do.
At least we all made it.
Ian shows up for the after party 99% of the time.
Speaking of which, I'm going to go ahead and move us into after party mode because
There's no party like the after party.
There's no party like the after party, pretty much. So, I want to thank everybody for showing up tonight. Honestly, guys, I just wanted to get everybody on the screen and say what's up and let Saberland know we're still here. We're still cracking, and you know, some of us are dealing with life. Seriously, you know, prayers out to Will. Hopefully those things will get better for him. And you know, keep family first and all that stuff. And if you guys haven't been out picking up new fonts lately, head over to Saber Font and get Wand Sith stuff. Head over to Repulse Collectibles and get Link's new stuff. These guys are the blazers right now, seriously. So, and then, you know, I'll be dropping stuff with some pretty unique voices in it coming very soon. So that'll be fun. So from all of us, may the Fourzze be with you all. We're going to go into after party mode, and we will talk with you very soon.
Bye.